Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Commissioner Dwight Keene. In the absence of our chairman, Andrew French, I will serve as the chair of this business meeting this morning. Accordingly, I will call to order this meeting of the Kansas Corporation Commission on this Thursday, June 3rd, 2021. Before us, first up this morning for our consideration are 30 items on the consent agenda. And toward that end, I would turn to you, Commissioner Duffy, ask, do you have any questions, comments, or concerns about any of these items?
Thank you, Commissioner Keene. I have no questions or comments, and as such, I would move approval of the consent agenda items.
Very good. And I would second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I would call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The consent agenda is approved. Next up, we have four items on the noticed agenda. The first of which is docket number 21-GIMX-294-MIS in the matter of the Kansas Open Records request pursuant to KSA 75-215 at SEC, dated January 14, 2021 by James Zakura, president of the Kansans for Lower Electric Rates, Inc. We have before us an order on a petition for reconsideration, and the presenter is our general counsel, Brian Fedotin. If you would, please, Brian.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Keene. Good morning, commissioners. On May 4th, KLAR filed its petition for reconsideration, arguing that denial of its core request for some Evergy's docket filings in the 13-256 docket is unlawful and unreasonable because Kansas public policy establishes public records should be open for inspection. KLAR contends that KSA 66-1220A, which exempts certain records from disclosure and core requests, is inapplicable here. They also claim that because Evergy is publicly announced forecasted generation retirements through 2040, and the executive summary of its IRP is publicly available, that these compliance filings can no longer be considered a trade secret. Similarly, KLAR claims the commission's refusal to disclose the 2021 utilities and common carrier reports or the 2021 electric supply and demand reports is unlawful and unreasonable because those have already been publicly distributed to the Kansas legislature. First, the claim that KSA 66-1220A, I'm sorry. First, the claim that KSA 66-1220A, which exempts certain commission records from disclosure to core requests, is inapplicable, is just that claim lacks merit. Turning to some of the other claims, the contention that by publicly announcing forecasted generation retirements through 2040 and providing an executive summary in its IRP plan, that Evergy has eliminated any justification to treat compliance filings as a trade secret or confidential information is incorrect. The information contained in the 13-256 docket and subsequently in the commission's biennial report is highly granular regarding the utilities and is used to calculate future demand and resource adequacy and can be used by the utilities competitors and other market participants as leverage in negotiations. Thus, the information contained in the 13-256 docket is still considered trade secret and confidential commercial information. The decision by the commission to revise its 2021 biennial report does not render all the information contained within it public information. Just because tables 1 and 2 were made public the more detailed redacted forecasting data does not automatically become public. The idea that it's not so that the redaction of certain tables in the biennial reports is a change in policy. For all these reasons, the petition for reconsideration is denied in its entirety. With that, I'm available for questions.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Fedottin. Appreciate the explanation. Commissioner Duffy, do you have any questions or comments regarding this docket?
I have no questions or comments, and I move approval of the order as written.
Very well. I would second that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The order is approved. Next matter up is docket number 21-GIMX-303-MIS. This is in the matter of the record natural gas prices and potential system reliability issues from unprecedented and sustained cold weather. We have before us a supplemental protective order and discovery order. And again, the presenter is Brian Fedottin.
Yes, thank you. On March 9th, the commission issued an order opening company-specific investigations and also enacting a protective and discovery order. Subsequent to March 9th, the commission learned that the Kansas Attorney General is also investigating Winter Storm Uri. To assist the AG in performing its duties, the commission is revising its protective and discovery order to allow the Attorney General to review any and all discovery produced in this docket. With that, I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Brian. Commissioner Duffy, do you have any questions or comments regarding this order?
Yes, Commissioner Keen, I would like to comment that I do believe the addition of the Attorney General's office and his authority as the highest chief enforcement officer of the state of Kansas will be very beneficial as we continue our investigation. And we, as two state agencies, are working together to unravel and uncover the issues of the winter storm. And I just would like to say that I value what they bring to this investigation and believe this is absolutely where we should be sharing information and working with the Attorney General's office. With that, I would move approval of this order.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Duffy. I would second that motion, and by way of discussion, very briefly, I would subscribe to all of the comments of my fellow Commissioner Duffy. I concur totally in all of her observations. The concern I think that the commission has is certainly well placed in that we're concerned about the root causes and consequences of the February 2021 weather event, which has caused, frankly, so much hardship, financial hardship, and other hardship upon so many Kansas consumers and electric and gas ratepayers. And I concur as well. I think any effort that we can undertake to coordinate what our investigations do with the investigations that are conducted by the Kansas Attorney General serves the long-term best interests of the state. And so for that reason, I would conclude at least my observations. Ask if there's any further discussion. Hearing none, I would call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The order is approved. Next matter up on our noticed agenda is docket number 21-EKCE-375-COM. This is in the matter of a complaint against Evergy Electric Company by Austin and Megan Ross. We have before us an order on the formal complaint, and once again, our presenter is Brian Fedottin.
Yes, thank you. On March 25th, Austin and Megan Ross filed a formal complaint against Evergy, alleging that they purchased property from their father and father-in-law, and that Evergy improperly transferred the father/father-in-law's outstanding balance to them. Because the complainants admitted that their father still resides at the address subject to the complaint, and Evergy confirmed that the complainant was authorized on the account bearing the charges, this order finds that Evergy is within its right to assess the charges to the complainant and or terminate service. Therefore, this formal complaint is dismissed without prejudice. With that, I'm available for any questions.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fedotin. Commissioner Duffy, any questions or comments regarding this docket?
Commissioner Keen, I have no questions or comments, and I move approval of the order.
Very well, I would second that motion as well. We'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The order is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you for all of that, Brian. The final noticed item up for our consideration this morning is docket number 21-CONS-3289-CMSC. This is in the matter of a compliance agreement between RJ Energy LLC as operator and the commission staff regarding bringing 270 wells into compliance with KAR 82-3-111. Before us this morning is an order approving the compliance agreement, and our presenter is Assistant General Counsel Kelsey Marsh. Litigation Counsel, pardon me.
Thank you, Commissioner King. Good morning, as well, Commissioner Duffy. Before you is an order approving the compliance agreement between commission staff and RJ Energy LLC regarding 270 inactive wells out of compliance with KAR 82-3-111. My understanding is that this operator is picking up abandoned leases that would have likely ended up on the state plugging list in order to plug the abandoned wells on the lease and drill new ones in an attempt to revitalize the lease. The terms of the agreement state that the operator shall bring 7 of the inactive wells into compliance with KAR 82-3-111 by September 30th, 2021. Further, the operator shall bring an additional 7 wells into compliance each 3 calendar months thereafter. This results in 28 wells being brought into compliance per year over an approximate 10-year period. Additionally, I'd like to point out that this particular operator has plugged over 230 wells since the beginning of 2019 and over 800 wells since 2010. Staff believes this indicates the agreement will be completed well ahead of schedule. With that, I would recommend approval of the order, and I am available for any questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marsh. Commissioner Duffy, any questions or comments regarding this order?
I would make the comment that this is somewhat unusual in that the time period is 10 years. That is a long time, but there's a lot of wells, close to 300. And that's concerning as well as they're all abandoned. So again, the perennial problem of our abandoned wells and the responsibility of plugging them falls either to the state or to the industry. And the industry does pay into the funds that plug them. So it's kind of this circle. And I do hope that the operator is successful and remains on schedule. And it appears he will with his history of plugging wells. So with that, Commissioner Keen, I move approval.
Thank you very much. I would second that motion, and I would add my own comments if I might. I really commend our staff and the operator both. On the staff side, there's a lot of wells we're talking about here. The circumstances that really underlie the compliance agreement, I think, really move us in a direction through the compliance agreement to the protection of the freshwater resources of the state in a very responsible way, providing the operator who has really a splendid history of plugging wells, having plugged 800 to date since 2010. That is one bunch of wells. And so I really commend the operator for being willing to go through the process of doing this, kind of spreading out the plugging responsibilities over a number of years so that it would not hopefully impair their cash flow in the process. With respect to our staff, I have to say this. I know the amount of effort that it took to come to the point of actually reaching a compliance agreement and all the field work that they had to go through and verifying the status of each one of these wells was formidable. And so I want to really commend District 3, the field staff, the management team there for overseeing this effort and what I think is really the long-term best interest of the state. So having said that, I would go back and say, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, then I will call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The order is approved. We come to the end of the noticed and consent agenda items for today. Commissioner Duffy, is there anything further that you would care to bring before the commission in this meeting?
If I could, Commissioner Keen, I would like to share that IOGCC has shared with me a letter dated May 25th to the Honorable Joe Manchin, who is the senator that heads up the Committee on Energy and Natural Resources, and the Honorable John Barrasso, the ranking member of the Senate Committee on Energy and Natural Resources. And this is a letter endorsing the Revived Economic Growth and Reclaimed Orphan Wells Regrow Act of 2021, introduced by fellow senators in April. And so this letter is really a call for additional funds to go to states to, as we were talking about well plugging, but to enhance the state's well plugging efforts to create new jobs and at the same time fast track the orphan wells that have in numerous states. And this letter is signed, and if you will indulge me, by Kevin Stitt, Governor of Oklahoma, Michelle Grisham, Governor of New Mexico, Doug Burgum, Governor of North Dakota, Andy Beshear, Governor of Kentucky, Brad Little, Governor of Idaho, Mike DeWine, Governor of Ohio, Tom Wolf, Governor of Pennsylvania, Greg Abbott, Governor of Texas, Mark Gordon, Governor of Wyoming, Jim Justice, Governor of West Virginia, Spencer Cox, Governor of Utah, and also Laura Kelly, Governor of Kansas. And so we're, I believe, extremely hopeful that this legislation will continue to move forward, but I did want to share that piece of information with the commission. That's all. Thank you. And it appears Commissioner King. Yes, we can hear you. There you go. Now there was a little blip. Okay. Can hear you now. Are you able to hear us, Commissioner King? Okay,
Uh,
there
yeah,
we
we're
go.
back. We're back.
Okay, good.
I think we better take advantage of this. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Commissioner Duffy, in all seriousness. I think we've reached an end perhaps. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Very well. I would second the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye,
Motion carries. We are adjourned.
thank you.
Thanks to all. Take care.
Bye-bye.